Hello everyone, welcome to another video of Oracle Fusion functionalities. So in this video, we will go through uh, the implementing a new company or we'll start with the configuration. So suppose you are part of any implementation project, then definitely you decide on which all offerings to be implemented and configured. Once that decision is made, uh, you will create different users, and once that users are created along with the required or respective roles, uh, we know the best or the ideal suggestion or good option is to create or track your implementation through an implementation project, which is a feature provided into the Fusion ERP. So if you click on your profile and get into a setup and maintenance, you will see an option here which is to create the implementation project. So manage implementation project is the option. So I already have some project created. I will show you what that project looks like and what you should be doing it. So these are all different projects that are available. So you can simply click on plus and create a project. So once the project is created, it you have to give the name. You can put an start date and planned end date, etc. Once you create a project, what you need to do is click on the plus sign and you have to add the offerings, the different offerings. So suppose I want to implement or configure any particular offering. So you can see all these lists that are available. You can select the one which you have subscribed and then add it into your project. So what Oracle Fusion does is it will list all the setups, the mandatory and the optional setups, and they get tracked into every offering, right? So I already added the offerings as you can see here. So we'll jump to the financial offering because that's the core part of your finance. You have to start with setting up your enterprise, your legal structure, the ledger, the business units, uh, all these setups. So as you can see, there are multiple uh, options over here. So you added an offering. Once you add the offering, you can explore or expand that, and you can see multiple. Wherever you see a star mark, it's a mandatory setup. Definitely you can expand those options and see. So some of these options will be common into the other offerings as well. So if there is something you know options like configuring the enterprise, creating the legal structure or the business units will be also available into your project execution management. So do not get confused if you see the same option into other offering. They are simply, you can review them and mark them as completed. So if you observe here, I can select any specific task. As a project manager, what I can do is I can uh, assign this particular task to my team. I can click on assign task and I can select to which user I can assign this particular task, so that for tracking purpose I would have that visibility. Plus there is a status column. You can edit the status at the header level or at the every subtask level. So you have to assign or put up a status. So this is how you can click on plus sign and select your user and assign to him or her. And then here if you see this status, there are different statuses available. So in progress, completed, or not started, frozen with error. So this is going to help you in terms of if you have planned implementation next 15 days or 20 days, then you would know which all tasks are completed, who is the owner, what's the due date that I have set as a project manager, and I can track it accordingly. That's the whole purpose. So this is how the implementation project is created. Uh, this is the start date and end date of the project that I can track with. So let's get into financials setups from here. So any implementation project would definitely you have to start with enterprise structure. So you have to be clear with what will be the enterprise structure. You have to do that study where all the businesses the company is making or doing the business, which all how many operating units or the business units what you call it in the fusion, how many legal entities you will have to define, how many legal sorry the locations that you will have to define. So all that structure you can that will be your first steps. So if you see this particular option, define enterprise structure for financials. Now just please note that I have completed most of the setups, so you will see those values over here already. But establish an enterprise structure, right? So when you click on the go to task, this is the arrow. So this is putting my assigned to as a fusion.demo, which is my username. So these are the enterprises which are already available. I can simply click on one of the enterprise structure that I already created. So I have named it as a Power Group Limited. So my company name is Power Group Limited. Now I want to make sure that the company's enterprise structure is set up into the Fusion. So I'm giving the name, the short name, the what my company belongs to, which industry. I can select where my headquarter lies and which location or the location. um, and I can click on next. If you see here, you have divisions, then you have business unit. Under that, you have reference data set. So this is the structure that you have to follow. These are the steps to be followed. So divisions, you may have one division in United States of America. You may have one in say EMEA region, one in India. So you can select that. I selected one region as of now. You can create a legal entity. If you click generate automatically, it will give you a default name, or it will automatically generate a name. Instead, you can create your own by clicking on the first sign. You give the name as identifier. You put the real registration numbers. You put the address which we already created, the registered address. Click on next. This is again manually create a business unit, or should you create it automatically? So you get an option. I would suggest create it manually so that you can have your naming conventions. Now I can have a naming convention starting with PG or Power Group, the way I want it. Then the reference data set. Reference data set is a concept that is a new concept which was not available earlier in any of the Oracle version, ERP version. So reference data set is something which you can create and have your different setups, or the new values that you will configure will be assigned to the reference data set. Later, that reference data set is assigned to different users or the roles. Accordingly, the access gets restricted, or you can control the access. Okay, so if example, I create some journal types. Okay, I created a PG journal type and assign it to one of the enterprise or reference data set, and then reference data set is assigned to my user Fusion demo. Then only Fusion demo will be able to select that particular values. Or if I assign that reference data set to particular business unit, then all those values which are there into the reference data set will be all applicable to that particular business unit only. The other business unit will not be able to have those values. I won't be able to create a journal with PG journal type, right? So that is the new concept, and there is a common set. So it's nothing but, no matter if you don't want any type of security or any type of restrictions, then you can create a common set which is by default available, and then it can be used everywhere so that those values are available at every level, every business unit, though it be ledger. That's a common value for you. Business unit set assignment is the next step. So you basically, as you see here, for this particular business unit, I have assigned a common set. Okay, so whatever things I assign into this particular set will be applied to this particular business unit. I may have another business unit and I may have another reference data set here. So I can differentiate between the values available into the business unit. That is how it works. Then the location reference set, and then you save and close. So I'm not saving it again, it's already done. So this is how you establish your enterprise structure. So this is the core, or the starting point of your enterprise. So I click on cancel. So my enterprise configuration is done. So the suggestion would be the options over here. You can follow them so that you do not miss anything. So I completed this established enterprise structure. So what I can do is I can simply click on this and say completed. I can put any notes, right, and say save and close. So if my project manager who comes up, he can view this project definitely, and he would know that okay, this particular task is completed. Maybe out of these four, he has completed three, one is still remaining. So that kind of the tracking mechanism will be available, so the status changes like this. All right, now define reference data sharing. So this reference data set is so I already created one reference data set which will be assigned for the different values that I will need, or I will utilize the common uh, reference data set. You can click on plus to create a new one. Now manage reference data set access for users. This is one of the important setups. You can see this is the mandatory one. So this will let you control the data or the setups, or I mean the values that we have set up. This will be at a user level. You can select which user needs what type of access. So you see two different options here: users without data access, users with data access. So if I click on this, if I search for fusion.demo, and if I click on search, I can see what all access is already available to this particular user. Okay, let me. Okay, so as you can see here, this particular user is assigned with different roles. Now let me show you a security context value. So what I mean by this particular setup is, so I can click on plus sign and I can assign different values over here. Okay, so what it means is I have a role of billing manager. So at reference data set level, which is this particular value, I have assigned it to this particular user. So if I click on plus sign, I select username, say fusion.demo. So I need to select which role I want to assign. So account payables specialist is the role. If I want to assign this, I select okay, at which level I want to assign it to the business unit level. Then what's the context value? I need to select my business unit name. Sorry, so the name is Power Group BU is what the name I have provided. So I can select this. So basically what I'm trying to say here is that for this particular user, this role is assigned at business unit level. So any functionalities that are driven at BU level will be applicable or will be accessible to this particular user. So same way I can add multiple roles. Uh, so if I have three different business units within one organization, I may assign only one. So US operating, US uh, a guy from a US business unit may not want to access a data from India business unit, then I can simply access this particular role with only values related to US business unit, right? So in this case, I have created only one business unit, so that's the reason I selected the available value. But that is what you can do. But I may have a different user for India. I will not give him access for US data. So this is something. This is the setup which will restrict or control how a data can be accessed. If I say save and close, it says this combination already exists, which I have already done. So accordingly, you can add as many roles as you want and also take it out. All right. So this is data access for the users. Of course, again, I can simply go on this and say this is completed. Or if I want to show you, this is another option. So I completed all these three things. I can, this is the header task. I click on this, I say completed. Then what this does is it says completed for all its subtasks. So you don't have to, do it individually if you have multiple tasks over there. So define the geographies. So there will be some geographies which are already available, the seeded values. So I'm not getting into this. This is already available. I'm not defining any new geography. If I do that, I can load some data. Then I have to run a maintain geography program, which will, uh, have to be run so that the values are available in the later section. Define enterprise for financials. This is manage enterprise HCM information. So this is coming from HCM actually, which is what are your working hours, what's the start date, what's the employee number, starting range, etc. So this is more of a HCM setup, which you do not have to do it separately. Uh, but I want you to look at those screens so that you are comfortable with the, the screens and the data that needs to be set up or that goes uh, into setting up a new implementation for any client. So this is one of the address which I had selected. So this is basically your location. This you can utilize anywhere in the further setup. So I selected a address set, and under that I have given a valid address. And mind that the addresses are available in Fusion, so they are validated by one of the company. So from there it is sourcing the address so that it gets validated. You do not put some junk data over there. For US, I think all the addresses are very well validated based on your zip code and the city. All right, so this is your locations. Now coming to the legal entity structure, so you can define a legal address. This is a mandatory one. So this will be the address which you will utilize. So I already have defined one. So this is the address. I can click on this and I can select one address which I want to use it at the legal entity level. So if I come down to now manage legal entity, you see here selected scope. So it is telling me select, right? If I click on go task, it will actually ask me to select a legal entity, right? Manage legal entity. So I'm selecting select and add or create a new. If I do not have one created, I will click on create new. Here I'm selecting to on select and add. So here I already have created a legal entity. Power Group is the name I selected. Okay, now here you can see the setup that is available. So this is the one, this is the address you can assign. You have to decide. So this is your a payroll unit. Is this your legal employer under which employees will draw a salary? So this is your legal entity for you. Not much into this, but you have to select the appropriate values and make sure that the data is appropriately entered. Manage legal entity, manage legal entity registration. So now you can see the values are referencing to Power Group, which is the legal entity that I had selected. So the now your scope of this particular implementation project becomes limited to the Power Group. Okay, I'm clicking on manage legal entity registrations. So here you can edit this and see what all values are available. So this is my registration address, this is my name, this is my EIN or TIN number, any place of registration, authority. So this is legal information you can enter over here. So the start date and end date if it is there. So those are the mandatory options. Now legal entity, financial information, HCM information, you can explore these as well. So manage legal reporting unit. Again, you have to select the scope. So manage legal entity, select the legal entity, then legal reporting unit, select and add, apply and go. Under this one, this is the reporting unit that was created earlier. So I selected this. That's it. Click on save and close. So if there are any other associated legal, the business units you can put over here. So these are the, I'm just going through the mandatory setups so that your application or your project becomes functional and you're able to enter the details over there. Now this is, so what we have done so far is created an implementation project, then we created an enterprise structure. We decided, we concluded this was my enterprise structure, and we have configured the same into your Fusion application. Then we have defined, okay, my business operates only in the United States, so I created one legal entity for United States. Accordingly, I created a legal entity structure, the legal reporting details, the address to that legal entity, the registration number. I have put up all these details. So if I have a requirement of having multiple legal entities, I can create them, and uh, you can have your setups completed for every legal entity. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and do like and subscribe my channel, and let me know if you have any specific questions. Do mention them in the comment and I will be happy to answer them. Thanks again. Bye.